Pharmacy the way it should be.
There are things that we experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in a corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us, share your story, share your evidence, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio.
I start shaking, the earth was quaking, my mind was aching, we were thinking of you, shook me all night long, yeah, you shook me all night long, walking double time on the seduction road, she was one of a kind, so just mine, oh my, wanna know.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every week we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, or just the unusual. My name is Greg Bakken, and thank you for joining me today. You know, I'm laughing because I'm watching you, Patrick. You and I are both head shaking to AC/DC right from right from the start.
Yeah, we are shaking all night long in the studio.
We should have just kept going, right? We should have just kept going and just let AC/DC take us away. Thank you all very much for joining us today. How great of a summer this is. I'm really grateful. I'm going to tell you why real fast. One of the things that I am, a true believer in is being able to recognize when good things happen and when good things happen for a reason. And I just wanted to share real fast. For those of you that haven't been around the last couple of weeks, I've had to deal with something that was a pretty big deal for myself. And it was years in the making, where I finally was able to put an end to a kind of quite frankly, a marriage that had actually ended quite some time ago. But we've been kind of dealing with a lot of stuff, both my ex-wife, Jolene, and I, and her stuff had been in my place for quite some time. And she was over about a couple of weeks ago and spent about 5 days with me. And we ended up moving her stuff out, and we got along very well. And the purpose of me sharing this is simply this. We both had the opportunity to say we're sorry to each other. We both had the opportunity to provoke forgiveness. And, you might be saying to yourself, what is the purpose of talking about this on a paranormal show? But just know, please, if there's one thing that you get from me all these years of either watching me, listening to me, doing, having any part to do with me and the paranormal, it's not that ghosts are scary. It's not that, there's scary and weird locations. To me, the paranormal is brought down to this, and it's simply this. It's oneness. Having oneness between yourself and other people, having oneness between yourself and spirits. And when you can get rid of that garbage that holds you back and holds you down, and you can be able to forgive when there's people out there that you didn't think that you could ever forgive, but you're able to let go, then that means that you are in a better place. And we both did that. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just her. We both did that. And I really just want to kind of put that out there, because this is, this is what it's down to. And if you want to be a good paranormal investigator, you want to be a good medium, you want to bridge the gap between paranormal and metaphysical, you have to be able to let go of that stuff. And I just really felt the need to share that, as I'm really happy that I feel that way. There are other people that I wish that could work out that way too, but it doesn't always work that way. But I can do the best that I can. You can do the best that you can. And I hope that just hearing that, maybe one person out of all the listeners out there, one person decides, you know what, it's time to forgive. It's time to let go. And with that, I end my Sunday sermon. But like I said, if there's one thing you ever learn from me, ever get from me, is it's okay to forgive. So anyway, let's just move on and talk about something a little bit more interesting. I'm so excited that I have back on today Rob Guttrow, who is an author, paranormal investigator, and medium, with inspired ghost tracking of Maryland. He's become known as a pet medium, although he communicates with pets and people who have passed. Since he was a child, he could receive messages from earthbound ghosts or spirits who have crossed over. As a scientist, he's a meteorologist, folks, and you know I love to talk weather. He also provides some scientific explanations about how energy is the baseline for the afterlife and the medium that entities use to communicate. He is also known for making the distinction between earthbound ghosts and spirits and their differences and similarities. Rob has 3 different series of books: Pets in the Afterlife, Ghosts on a Medium's Vacation, Ghosts and Spirits, all of which can be found on Amazon. Today, we're going to be talking about the Ghosts of Birdcage Theater on a Medium's Vacation, which I'm very happy to discuss since I was able to investigate there in 2019. Rob, welcome to Ghostbox Radio.
Thank you, Greg. So good to be back.
It is good to have your voice back on here again. It's been far too long. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have you back on.
I did want to share with you that one of the main messages from spirits on the other side is that we do need to practice forgiveness. So your intro was very appropriate for talking about ghosts, because a lot of times people stay earthbound as ghosts and they seek forgiveness to cross over and become spirits.
That's exactly right. As I cross over many spirits, and that is certainly the one thing that I certainly get out of this. Now, before we go any further, I do want to quickly invite all of our listeners to join into the conversation. To do so, to ask a question to Rob, you can call in at 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205. Or you can email us. You can email us at comment@am950radio.com. And we are live on AM 950 Radio on Facebook, but also streaming on the following Facebook pages. You can watch us on, like I said, AM 950, Things Network, MN Ghostbox, Free Spirited Network, RU Media, Skeleton Key Network, and Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. So please go there, support those pages, and feel free to leave any questions or comments on those pages, because I shall be watching those pages as well. You know, Rob, let alone the discussion about forgiveness and whatnot, and maybe we can go back to that at some point. What I do want to definitely get into here, of course, is just how amazing it is to get out to Tombstone, Arizona. I mean, let alone the birdcage, but Tombstone, Arizona is quite the location, isn't it?
It is. It's a fascinating place because it is preserved exactly, pretty much, as it was in the 1880s. It all closed down suddenly in 1889 when the silver mines around it that were the reason for its birth, if you will, all flooded. So most of the residents left.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's just it, that it's really one of those situations that it is kind of pristine. And I really love the fact, and I think the birdcage is a great example of literally it shut down and everything that was in there, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, but everything in there stayed untouched until like rediscovered in the early 1930s or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of history.
I mean, just the idea, and as you know, we all know, walking into that place, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like you can't touch anything. You probably had better access than I did, but you can't touch anything because it might all fall apart.
Yeah, there's some things that are very sensitive, but the owners and managers have taken great care so that you can walk through there now on your own and do a walking tour during the day, and then at night they have another tour for ghost tours. And every time there is a ghost tour, somebody gets something, and that's what my book is about. So I went on one of those ghost tours, and I ran into 11 of them. 11 ghosts.
11. So explain a little bit, if you don't mind, like when you ran into 11 ghosts, was this using mostly mediumship, or was it using paranormal, like using investigative skills or whatnot?
It was just using my head. Just mediumship. You know, there's not much up there, but that's all it took. But a couple of things about the Birdcage Theater that your listeners may find interesting is that if you saw the movie Tombstone with Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer, the Birdcage Theater is depicted in there. And the people that did the film really did a fantastic job in recreating exactly what it looked like. Mm-hmm. So the Birdcage Theater actually opened officially in December, on Christmas Eve, 1881, although it was open before that, before they get the big bar in there. And it was the entertainment spot, really, because it was a theater, it was a gambling den, it was a bar, and it was a house of prostitution. So it had four things going on in there around the clock, from the time it opened in 1881 to the time it closed in 1889.
Okay. Wow. I mean, and that's just it. And I one of the stories I want to get to, one of the people I want to get to in particular is one. I mean, because you can argue about the idea of prostitution or anything like that, but the thing is one of the original owners, Big Minnie, she was one of the first to really go out of their way to make sure that the women were treated as well as possible, which was pretty incredible. I mean, and she got in some trouble for that. I mean, she wasn't always liked because of that, but they called her Big Minnie for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And while I was there, I did actually meet some ladies of the evening, if you will.
Oh, interesting. Well, let's do this because we're getting close to commercial. So why don't we do this? Let's take our first break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation about the Haunted Birdcage Theater with author and medium Rob Guttrow. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. Metaphysical means different things to different people, and Enchanted Boutique in Maplewood has classes and workshops for any skill level, whether you're a beginner or new to the metaphysical. Enchanted Boutique's friendly instructors bring positive energy and years of experience in all the metaphysical realms. Workshops include energy healing, various divination techniques, crystals, and much more. Plus, Enchanted Boutique has lots of products that can supplement what you learn at their newly expanded retail location in Maplewood. Find the class schedule and book your own session at enchantedboutiquemn.com.
Hello, this is Ellie Krug with Ellie 2.0 Radio. Now my show will be on Saturdays from 10 to 11 and replayed on Sundays from 1 to 2. You will get to the best of Ellie 2.0 with talking about idealism with guests who come in and who are idealistic, who are trying to change the world. And you will get me, Super Idealist. Tune in. We can't wait to hear from you. And you'll hear from me Saturdays from 10 to 11.
Hi, this is Ken Hageland, host of Living Healthy and Aging Well, inviting you to listen to our live call-in talk show airing every Saturday from noon to 1, where we talk about your health and your life and provide insights you need to know to live and age well. Each week, we talk with guests who provide answers to important questions regarding healthcare, elder care, end-of-life care, and self-care for caregivers, and help you and your loved ones plan for the future and enjoy your highest quality of life today. Please join us every Saturday from noon to 1 on AM 950 for Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Connections radio show is all about tapping into our hardwired hunger to connect. We examine meaningful connections to